Okay, guys, so hey, how's it going? I didn't want to make a video until I was ready, until there was stuff happening, and now there is stuff going down, and we need to talk about it. So, yes, okay. I'm in a different location because process of moving, and there's going to be people around talking probably. Listen, all that matters is Andrew Yang and K-pop right now. So I'm just going to get into that, and then we can worry about all the details later. So this started, okay, let me sync this up really quick. I'm going to have an OBS streaming thing here, or at least a recording of my screen, because this makes it very easy. This makes life easier. So let's start the stream right now. Okay, so this should be on right now. So as you can see in a little box right there, I have this on Scott Garabay's channel first, because this is the first thing that kind of got me out of like the slump that I was in. Now the slump that I was in is this, that, you know, a lot. Andrew Yang has been slowing down, it seems. Not him personally, but it just seems like his support and just like the momentum that he had, you know, the past or the previous couple of months has been slowing down. In you know, in like late May, early June, at least, you know, at the time it was. And I was like, okay, alrighty, okay, this is kind of not good. Especially since, you know, he's not doing the best in the polls, which I know a lot of you guys have opinions on the polls and whatnot. I do too. I am kind of like, sure, they may be right. I'm sure they're right. There's a lot of there's a lot of baggage that has to do with the polls, but I believe them for the most part. And because he was stuck at 1% for the longest time, I think even now, that is concerning for a lot of young gangsters, because it's like, oh snap, are we gonna make it? Like, is this thing gonna happen? Hey mom. So I was like, okay, that's a bit of a red flag, especially since I'm gonna go to this channel next, especially our boy Nerds for Yang. He had I went on my channel first. I didn't mean to plug, but Nerds for Yang. You don't even need to subscribe to me. Don't even subscribe. I don't even want you. Just, it's too much pressure. But anyway, subscribe to other people, not me. I'm trash. But anyway, Nerds for Yang, right? He has been doing videos talking about the candidates, the different Democratic candidates' policies, and, you know, his most famous videos, or his most popular videos, is you know, Yang's campaign updates, right? That's the first like kind of video that like I saw of him. So yeah, that's probably gonna be his you know, his most popular video or video type, because that's the one that I guess YouTube has recommended. So go figure, a lot of people are gonna see that. But the thing is that, you know, he has said in previous videos that, like, okay, like, you know, our donations are fine, like internet publicity or internet like hype is good, but still, those polls, man, those freaking polls, we gotta get those, gotta get that number up, you know. And even recently, his recent video, right here, I'm not gonna,
Hello,
whoops, sorry,
nerds.
Yes.
Nerds for Yang. We have a campaign update.
So yes, he talks about,
You guys really love these campaign updates, so that's what we've got coming up.
yes. So even in this video, he talks about how, like, Yang is the technical number is 0.8%, but, you know, they rounded, you know, we just rounded up or rounded down. So rounding it up is 1%, right? Which I would, that like I don't know, that is very strange. Like it's hard to believe that Yang's only 1% in the poll. Like that gives me like a red flag. I don't know, like I know Yang's doing everything right pretty much. Obviously I don't think he's listen, he's not perfect. I don't agree with every single policy, but I agree with like 99% of the policies. And I'll talk about the ones that I don't necessarily agree with in a later date. But but like he's like, to me, he's like the perfect candidate. Like I think he should win the whole thing. And the fact that he is, still is having trouble with this poll number is, or not just this specific one, but just like the major like 3 or 4, it's just really alarming to me. So like this was like last week. I was like, okay, I don't know if I should do like a Yang Power Hour. I'm like all depressed and shit, and I don't really know what to talk about. And like he hasn't really been on anything that like. I mean, like he at the time, like he wasn't on Dave Rubin Report show yet. He wasn't on Bill Maher yet. So I was like, I don't know what to talk about. I'm like, I don't know what to talk about. And then like all of this like shit was gonna bring me down, and then we'll get into that later. And then on Twitter, and then Reddit, but then on Twitter, I'll get to this person in a second. But on Twitter, like people were like. Yang was tweeting out some stuff, and then people were getting upset, such as his position on like, not position, but he just like shared the article of how millennials or just younger people are having less kids and are having more like pets, dogs for the most part in America. And then, of course, people got their panties in a twist. They're just like, what? Yang, don't come after my pup child baby. Like, and like, listen, y'all, I love animals as much as the next crazy person. I really do. Like, I will watch documentaries on YouTube for hours. I really will. Of like random stuff, like spiders, hippos, snakes. I love them all. But like, you can't deny that is somewhat of a problem, that like many people don't want children and want dogs. Now listen, I do not want children at all. I don't think that that's necessarily like a bad thing, that if you don't want a child, I don't think you should be pressured into like having a child if you don't want one. But it is something like, the reason why I think it is more like a sign of like a problem is because that it shows that a lot of people are not confident in making an actual connection with human beings, and they kind of like, the safest bet is to have a pet, and then pets are very easy to love. They love you back very easily, and there you go, which I love, trust me. But I understand why, especially Yang. Like, he has 2 children, and he's very pro. Like, he wants people to have children. I understand that. I mean, overpopulation is a thing that we have to be concerned about. But I understand the mindset. But people were really like all bent out of shape. It was like 50-50. Like I remember seeing the comments, and like people were like, half of them were like, oh, like fuck these like millennials that want to have like dogs and like let their dogs like kiss them and shit like that. And the other half was like people like, oh, fuck you guys, like I want to have my dog, I don't want to have I want to have a child, like that's just my decision, and why should that be a problem? And like, Yang, you lost me here. And the other people were like, Yang, you lost me. I'm just like, Jesus Christ, like what is happening here? So that was concerning. And then of course, when Yang brought up the gun violence thing, and he's like, yeah, I think we should have some tighter gun regulation, something. And then people were like, oh yeah, you lost me, like fuck you, and I'm just like having a headache. I'm just like, fucking, you guys, can we please stop complaining over these like lesser problems. They are issues, but like in terms of like the full picture, like we can't be quabbling and quibbling and gibbering over this nonsense. Like, let's get this fucking bag, okay? So I was really depressed. I was like, oh man, this is not looking good. And the donation numbers were not really rising as high or as high as, you know, we should be, or our goal was. Our goal is still 3.5 million by June 30th. And we have like 20 more days to go, right? So I was like, man, oh my god, I see some people like on social kind of turning on him. I'm seeing like money's not rising, the polls ain't rising. I'm like, oh, this is not good. And of course, mainstream media is not taking him seriously at all. Is really kind of just suppressing Yang. It was just so shitty. So I'm just like, enough. Enough. Please stop the fighting. And I was like, really, I was to the point where like, man, like I think Bernie's gonna get it. I think Bernie is people, I mean, like Bernie's base is very strong. They're very dedicated. They're very loyal. And it's not like I don't like Bernie, but like he's just not my guy. You know, like sometimes you just have a guy that is your guy, and if it's not that guy, then like you just don't care. I tried. I looked at Bernie's website. I signed up for his email, and I was like, after the couple of emails that I got, I was like, okay, I'm unsubscribing because I just don't care. I'm sorry. Like, I just don't care. He's even coming to like my area and I don't care. Like, because I want Yang. Yang is the real deal. He is the full package. That sounds wrong. Don't go there, mister. But he's the full package, okay? And then I started watching like, and the thing that really got me, I know I'm opening up like 20,000 tabs. You can probably tell by like what I'm doing or what I'm going to be talking about based on the tabs that I have up. So you can probably see that. But let me just go here. I just recently got into Kyle Kulinski, Secular Talk. Side note, I have a slight crush on him, but that's neither here or there. So he is definitely like a Bernie bro. Bernie is his like one of his like at least his top 3, and I think Tulsi Gabbard is his top 3 as well, right? So I started watching some videos of his, and I'm like, okay, like Bernie's fine. Bernie's killing it with, the media as of right now. Obviously, he's coming after Walmart with this like minimum wage shit. He's coming after the military industrial complex. He's coming after like everything right now. I know that penis right there. He's coming after everything right now. Everything. He's coming after the big stuff, Bernie's killing it. And I had to admit, he's really campaigning his ass off. The guy is going hard, and which made me think maybe I should vote for Bernie. Maybe I should. But then but alas, and I love Kyle Kulinski, but alas, Scott Garibay came in. And then I saw his video, a couple of his videos. One is this one right here. Andrew Yang and Andy Ruiz. Sorry if I'm pronouncing. I literally saw the video and I forget how to pronounce his name. The boxing guy. I don't watch sports, guys, but that is the thing that happened. And then this video right here. Angie's approach to politics is about the Soros not winning points, a blessing and a curse. I saw both of those videos, right? And especially this one, I was really just like, let me mute this really quick. I was really like shocked by how pumped Scott Garibay was, because I know Scott Garibay is so for Andrew Yang. He's all about that Yang gang life. And I was thinking, wow, what does he feel about this, like, how well Andrew Yang's campaign is going, because not going the best right now. And I actually saw this video before that one. There are people coming, so I'm sorry, but we have to deal with that. I saw this video first, Andrew Yang's approach to politics, and this was totally right. Like, honestly, I was like, yeah, Scott, you're right. I mean, there's a lot of things at play right now that even I don't even know why, like, how his campaign is being suppressed, but I know it's happening. And it's definitely money and corporate interest is definitely a part of it. I'm pretty sure of that. Yeah, my computer's going crazy because I have a lot of things going on right now. But it's definitely because of corporate interest. And they should be scared, by the way. Like, Yang is coming after their money. Like, Yang is not playing around. He's talking about UBI. Remember that, guys. He's talking about UBI and wealth distribution. So of course, corporate businesses are going to try to sneak their way into politics and be like, hey, can this, like, Andrew Yang guy, like, shut the fuck up? Hey, can you guys just, like, not take him too seriously? You know, that's definitely happening, I believe. So I don't know much, guys. I don't know much, but I know how people work, and that's definitely how people would definitely. I think that's what's happening. But the reason why, and in this video, he kind of explains, and I'll link all this in the description below. But the reason why, people. Scott was just like, yeah, this is so sad how this is playing out, but this is Yang's strength. Yang's strength is that he's not trying to suck up to the corporate dick. That's the best way I can explain it. He's not trying to suck up to the corporate dick. He really is trying to get to the people in the heart of the matter. Yeah, I was looking through the comments, and, like, you know, our boy Lane, he was like, man, this is the first time you sound discouraged. And I was like, yeah, this is because I was discouraged. I'm like, yeah, because it sucks, you know. It sucks. And then I was like, fuck, man, we're fucked. But then I did see this video right here. And this video actually came before that video right there. But this right here, when you guys have to see it. Like, I don't think you have to see every one of Scott's videos because he uploads a lot. But this one I think is a winner, because this is why we love Yang. Yang is an underdog, and he is working his fucking ass off like I've never seen somebody do. Like, okay, scratch that. Gary Vaynerchuk, the entrepreneur of VaynerMedia, he is probably the number one hustler in the world. But outside of that, like, Andrew Yang is pretty damn close. Like, I would consider him the second place. And by the end of this, I was just like, so, like, let's just watch it for a bit, you know.
All that mattered was the fire, the grit, the heart that Ruiz Jr. had, and that Joshua lacked, right? And so right now we have a brand new boxing heavyweight world champion, Andy Ruiz Jr. He is the first Mexican boxing heavyweight world champion ever, right? He has done something that has never been done before. It is a peerless victory, right? And so it's really incredible. And get this, what Andy Ruiz Jr. has done stands as the biggest upset in boxing in almost 3 decades. Every commentator that talked about this after the fight pointed to the same fight. They said, Nothing like this has happened in boxing since Buster Douglas defeated Mike Tyson, who was supposed to fight Holyfield.
Yeah. So again, I don't know that much about sports, but I understand why this is a big deal in boxing, and this is like Rocky happened, you know? This is like the movie Rocky, but like in real life, but just a different person and like slightly different circumstances. So I understand. I definitely understand why this Andy Ruiz thing is such a big deal, and Scott will talk about how this relates to Yang in a moment. So let's get back into it.
Right, and beat Mike Tyson in 1990 in Tokyo, right, and just beat him down, right? Exact same situation that happened with Ruiz Jr. and Joshua. So we have a new boxing heavyweight world champion. We have someone we have a contender who no one recognized as the champion to be. No one recognized him. At the macro, I for every single commentator who said Ruiz would win, I can point you to 20 who said he would lose, right? So before that fight, Ruiz Jr. had a small group of supporters.
Here we go.
Exactly like Andrew Yang. There are a small group of supporters right now who see Yang as more than a contender. They see him as the champion to beat.
Exactly.
That's what I see when I look at Andrew Yang. So
yes, that's exactly right. Andrew Yang, this following that he has curated, it's almost, I feel like we're like a family. You know, it feels so quaint, and that feeling you just, like almost never get in like on the internet. Like not even in K-pop. Like I told you I would mention K-pop here. K-pop is coming out. I'm gonna talk about it later, but still, K-pop is so huge, and there's so many different groups and so many different artists that, you know, a fandom. If you're in a fandom, is so fractured, I think, and it's so divided. Even if people do love the group, people love the groups for way different reasons. I feel like, or just it's just different. It's just not. It doesn't feel like, okay, I know these people that are in this fandom with me. It's more like, hey, I'm for this artist, and all these other people that are fans. That's cool too, but like I'm really here for like the person or the artist. But with Andrew Yang, there are people that I see all the time, and like on YouTube or on Twitter, even on Reddit, and I see them and I'm like, oh yeah, there goes that person. Oh, he's, you know, talking about Yang and da 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 da. And I'm just like, oh snap. And it really does feel like close. It feels like, oh wow, like we're really we're just really close knit a family. So I definitely feel like that is gonna like bring us like to the top when it comes to people knowing Yang, because like we have such a small that's kind of how like BTS got so big, because like the army fandom was like so freaking passionate that they just insisted that BTS would become a thing, and then they did. And yes, BTS, they are a talented group, like hands down, no doubt about it. But the fandom really did make sure that everybody knew who they were. So that was amazing, and I think that's the same thing's going to happen with Andrew Yang as well. So yeah, let me just continue on with this right here. There's like people all around here.
As the champion to be, he has the same fire, grit, and heart that Ruiz Jr. has. He will be able to defeat Biden, O'Rourke, Warren, Klobuchar, Booker, all of them.
Yes. So the only thing is Bernie is gonna be hard to beat, but all those other folks, I'm gonna say chumps. All those other chumps, they can just suck it.
He can knock every single one of them out with his verbal and political prowess that he now has, right? And I think he is a contender that no one recognizes as the champion to be, right? When you look at Andy Ruiz Jr.'s latest achievement, that is exactly the path that Andrew Yang is following. And it's exactly the same. All the commentators, ESPN, Boxing Sky, outlet after outlet after outlet, they looked at Ruiz Jr. and they saw a placeholder, they saw a contender. No one saw the champion to be. And it's exactly the same with the media right now. MSNBC, CNN, Fox, all of them. They see Yang as a contender, and absolutely none of them recognize him as the champion to be. But the reality is, and thank goodness for this, we who are Andrew Yang supporters, we know that once the competition starts, the numbers don't matter. The numbers did not matter for Anthony Joshua. They did nothing to help him beat Ruiz Jr.
So yes, what he means by that is that, like, again, I know the polls are, I don't think the polls are completely corrupt and like incorrect, but I think that what the polls do not calculate is like the intangible, is how much energy and how much passion Yang's campaign has compared to most of the other ones, with the exception of like Tulsi Gabbard, Bernie Sanders, even Elizabeth Warren. Those three are pretty. They have a lot of energy in their campaign. But Yang, like, the polls cannot calculate how, like, when he goes up, when he like speaks to a crowd, or when he debates somebody, like, you're so connected to him, and like it feels like you're like on, for the most part. I mean, some people don't like Yang, which is fine, but I think a lot of people I mean, it's not fine, but like it's understandable because people are different. But I think for the most part, you're in lockstep with him. Yang talks in a way where it makes sense, and it's so interesting how like people like that's so revolutionary, because it's like, yeah, you're supposed to make sense as a politician, right? But it's like, no, like he makes sense. Like everything he talks about, every scenario that he brings up, every analogy that he brings up, you can instantly connect to and relate to. And that is why people vote for people. Will vote for a candidate, not because the polls like say that, or not because of like, I don't know, not some external like factor. Even though the polls do say, okay, like technically, who would you like to vote for? But like, I think a lot of people, I don't know. It's just like there's just something intangible about liking a person, that there's some things that right now in our system they just don't even measure. So I think that that's gonna come to fruition later on, especially later on this month, and probably in the next 3 months. Yang's gonna have a skyrocket base support. Yeah, it's gonna get crazy. But yeah, we're just gonna finish off this video because it's really good. You should really watch the whole thing. But this end part just really got to me.
And the numbers could not stop Ruiz Jr. He absolutely decimated Anthony Joshua, and I think that's exactly the path that we are seeing right now. Andrew Yang, he is an absolute fighter. He has the same fire, grit, heart that Andy Ruiz Jr. displayed, and I absolutely believe he will be our president. He is a contender. So many people see him now as a contender, but he is the champion to beat. I see it. I hope you see it. We got to get others to see it.
And if you don't know, Scott Garibay, he's a very small YouTuber. He, like, only, it's a lot of people, but he has 600, right? As of right now, 663 subscribers, right? And but like I've seen quite a lot of his videos, and I do know that he used to be registered as a Republican, but he switched to a Democrat because of Andrew Yang, and he wants to vote for Andrew Yang in the primaries. So, and I can just tell by like the videos I've seen of Scott Garibay that he's a very passionate person and he knows his stuff when it comes to politics. So when he said that he switched, I was like a real, oh snap, like people are really like actually acting on, you know, what they believe in. Like if they like Andrew Yang, they're gonna switch and they're gonna vote for him, right? And I'm sure he's donated too. I'm pretty sure. I don't know. I don't remember him saying it, but I'm sure Scott has probably donated to his campaign as well. So that's a lot. I mean, that's to me that's a really big deal because Garibay, he has a very good pretty good political analysis on Andrew Yang and other things. So yeah, that video alone, that got me so pumped. I was like, oh my god, dude. Right, let's not talk about KCON right now. But that got me so pumped. And then just fast forward to like okay, atheism is unstoppable. We're gonna go here. Now this guy, I kind of knew of him. I'm a really big fan of like The Amazing Atheist, TJ Kirk, Deep Fat Fried, Paul Scotty, all them folks. And they've like talked about atheism is unstoppable, not like so much recently, but they have in the past. And I guess they kind of like him, but like as I have found out that he is very intense, could be a very jarring person, very unapologetic person. So I understand why people are like, I mean, he's cool, but like he's also kind of crazy and just like out there. But let me tell you something. This started actually when I was watching the Dave Rubin report, and I saw like atheism is unstoppable. He was in the chat, and I was like, oh, and he was like, oh yeah, Yang's my man, Yang 2020, and I was like, oh, he's in there. I'm like, that's interesting. Let me see if he's done any videos on Yang. So he made one, and this right here is like probably my favorite like YouTube video of like the year. Like if I have a list, which I never had a list before, but if I had a list, this, I said I wouldn't do like Yang Power Hour, but this is gonna be an hour I can already tell. People are running back and forth and I'm still doing this, so hey. But yes, if I had a list, this would probably be number one as of right now, because this video is 52 minutes long, but it's still so freaking funny. I like shared it on Facebook. I was like, who is this guy? Now there are some things that like I was like, okay, dude, you're too crazy, like please, like slow your freaking roll. Like apparently when it came to some stuff in the, listen y'all, this video starts off with Devin, who this is his real name. He talks about how this conference was being held, She the People, I don't know when, like some time ago, but like I didn't even know this existed. I'm glad I didn't, because pretty much everybody that was running that is running for the Democratic primary was up on this panel, and they're just pandering to black people, specifically black women. And I'm just like, what is happening? Like, what is this? I feel like I'm in the Twilight Zone. Like, how do we get to the point where like it's exceptional to just completely like suck up to like a specific to a specific group in this such a pandering way? Like, there's no other way to describe it. It's just everybody was in this thing. Bernie Sanders, Elizabeth Warren, Kamala Harris, Amy Klobuchar, everybody, pretty much. And I'm just like, who are these people? Like, who are these people that are running for president? And the main thing I'll talk about that, like, because this is like apparently this is like apparently I can't go in that dude's face. This is what everybody wanted to talk about, reparations, and why black people apparently deserved them, and which I do not believe. I've said in the previous video, and I think I said in the video where I talked about, you know, like me being a black supporter of Yang. And I guess I have to go into it again because this is a thing that should not, like, be a thing. Okay. My friend Jack, maybe like a couple of years ago, he asked me one day, he's white and he's gay, and he asked me, what do you think about reparations? I'm just like, what the heck do you mean? And he's like, oh, you know, there's an argument that people are having in the political sphere that black people should get a certain amount of money as a repayment for slavery and what potentially their ancestors had went through. And I'm just like, okay, that's kind of stupid. Why? No, I wouldn't want that. If it were to just happen, and then if I qualified, which I would, I wouldn't turn down the money because I'm a human being. However, I would not champion for that because that's completely, it's like totally unfair. You know, like, why should, like, I get money for something I didn't go through, first of all, and that's so far removed from me that, like, it doesn't even, like, matter. Like, like, I'm, at least, like, my parents, they've done pretty well, like, middle class people, you can even say upper middle class when it comes to, like, my dad, and I already can foresee it. I'm like, this is before I even saw this video of atheism is unstoppable, but, like, I already knew. It's like, if you think race relations are going to be if you think racism is bad now, if you implemented reparations, like, white people they're gonna like not be happy with that. They're gonna be more pissed if they are, like, if they weren't racist before, they will become racist if you were to implement reparations, because you're basically saying that, like, hey, I got this cash and you don't, it's because you're white. Like, that's obviously going to create a chasm in society, which, why would you want that? Yeah, dude, that's just crazy. So you can fact check, you can ask them if you can get a hold of him, but, like, you can ask my friend Jack. I'm like, I told him, I was like, and he's asked me, like, yeah, multiple times. And every time I was like, no, I don't want reparations because I'm black. Stupid. So now that, like, these, like, that's one thing that turned me off of Bernie Sanders, because I know he said that he was in for reparations on Breakfast Club, and I was like, okay, no, that is not, I do not agree with that. I understand why he has to say that, but Andrew Yang didn't say that. Andrew Yang got asked the same question on the Breakfast Club, and he said something close to yes, but, like, we all knew that he's not for it, because he said, listen, this UBI is your form of reparations, is white people's form of reparations. What do white people have to be what do white people went through? Well, it's like white people and everybody else, we are going to be in this predicament where no, like, automation will take over all of our jobs, and without remorse, and we're all just like not gonna have money anymore. That's a problem. That is gonna be a big problem. So yeah, white people should get money too, black people should get money, and then when everybody gets a certain amount of money in which they can at least eat, then we can talk about, okay, what can we do specifically for black people that would help them through blah 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 blah. Okay, like, but right now, let's not even go there right now. Let's just talk about uniting everybody. I'm not the best at explaining this, but like, that's just my perspective on it. So yeah, I thought that was pretty funny. And like, this whole thing, he talks about like how everybody's sucking up to these people. I'm just like, oh yeah, Tulsi Gabbard was in here too, sucking up. And I was like, of course Tulsi Gabbard is. I was like, I just can't. Like, who's this guy again? I literally, I know his name, but I keep fucking forgetting. Oh well. And then it goes on and on. The only person that was not up here was Pete Buttigieg, but he wasn't. I guess he wasn't like popular enough at the time to be up here. But if he was, he would be up here too, because Beto O'Rourke was up here. It's crazy. So yeah, at the end, I'm not even gonna spoil it for you, but like, essentially, Devin, this guy, he goes off. He's like, all these bitches are lame, but there is one person who is the second coming of Jesus Christ, and that is Andrew Yang. And I'm just like, yep, you're right. And then he just goes off with the memes. I'm just like, yo, this is so freaking funny and so true, because Yang is just such a breath of freaking fresh air. And this video was posted June 1st. I thought this was posted a while ago. But even like Devin, he's like, listen, I'm like late to the party, but like, I just want to put this on record that I think Yang is the one. I'm just like, oh my god, you know the truth, and I'm just like, this is a pretty big deal, because I think, like, honestly, I know that he's not as popular as like a Joe Rogan or like a Ben Shapiro. But I think the fact that atheism is unstoppable, like that he likes Andrew Yang, is a pretty big deal, because he, a lot of his people, or a lot of his supporters, or just like followers or fans, they're definitely like on like the progressive side, even maybe libertarian side, very like maybe on the what do you call it, anarchical. Maybe they believe in anarchy. They're on like the very like intense like political spectrum. So I think that like the fact that his audience now knows about Yang, at least, that's a pretty big deal. Yeah, so that and you know, I'll skip this one. That and Scott Garibay. I'm sorry, Scott Garibay. I'm gonna mute this right here. Scott Garibay. This video both made me be like, oh my god, there is hope. There is hope again. So yeah, guys. Man. So after that, and I haven't even finished the Rubin Report interview with Yang. Like I have like 30 more minutes left. But that, along with Bill Maher, which that definitely I think helped. I saw that interview, and even though it was very short, can't be helped. But even though it was very short, I think Bill Maher had a very positive perspective, or a positive like perception of Yang. So that definitely helped his Yang's reputation. And all of a sudden, like, I'm looking up at, I was browsing through I love that picture. I was browsing through Reddit, and apparently Raging Newbie 2 posted. Did I thumbs it up? There you go. Posted, holy crap, our donation jumped up by 100K overnight. For reference, we've been getting a much less than 50K a night, which is what we needed daily to get 3.5 million. So yeah, that's crazy. Like, because it has been going slow. Like I said in the beginning, like, it has been going slow. So I'm just like, whoa. Like we're almost at the point that we've raised at least what we've made in the first quarter, which is 1.75 million. So we're almost there. We're at 1.73 million or 1.74 million to round up. But yeah, that's crazy. That's amazing. Again, I think like the word is just continuously growing. I don't know what the catalyst for. Well, wait a minute. This may be. Wait, hold on. What is going on here? Just again, if you're an American citizen, haven't donated yet, you can donate as little as $1, and the number of individual contributors will go up. Yeah, he needs unique donors. Blah, blah, blah. Yeah, he'll get that. He'll get the 130 unique donors. I love this meme too. When NBC excludes Yang yet again. How many times do we have to teach this lesson, old man? SpongeBob is amazing. But anyway, I won't go down that rabbit hole. At least not right now. I'll probably have other videos of me just like scrolling through, which that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to get this thing on the side here. It's like Reddit Facebook donation battle. It's cute. I actually wanted to like read like YouTube comments and like Twitter comments and Reddit comments and reply, and then just made that the whole video, because what I like to do anyways, like when I'm not recording a video or editing, like, that's what I'm doing. I'm watching videos and I'm replying. And I used to not even like to do that. I used to like just stay away from make sure my mic was still on. I used to just stay away from like the comment section on YouTube, but now I'm like totally obsessed because of K-pop and because of Andrew Yang. So now like I'll definitely show you guys. This is why I have this OBS thing running now. It's because I want to show you guys like how I do that, and just, I think this is fun just to like, because I kind of want to be like the person that's like always in the comment section, like cheering you guys on and like giving some giving my input on certain things that, you know, certain discussion points and blah 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 blah. So yeah, I want to kind of have that reputation, so to speak, just like good vibes person, you know, definitely for the community, definitely for welcoming new Yang gangsters, all that fun stuff. So yeah, that'll be like its own like little show, I guess. But let me just like end with this, because there's a reason why I have all this stuff up here, and I'll exit out on some things. Well, not that, but we'll exit out on this right here and Reddit for right now. But the thing is that this, my man, this right here is incredible. I will link this in the description below because my man, I believe you pronounce it Elwha. I have your Twitter handle right here, so I'm sorry that I probably pronounced your name wrong. But this guy right here, he was on Twitter, and I just came across, I don't know, I was tweeting, he was tweeting, and you know, we've tweeted to each other, and now we are acquainted to each other. And now I know that he's actually in charge of this event that is happening in Philly, in which he will like, he's printing out little cards of Yang, like promotional cards. What the heck is it? Promotional cards. And he's gonna staple them on the backs of $1 bills, and then hand them out to people, or just like leave them like in like Walmart around the area. And I was like, oh, that's a cool idea. Well, you know, I think it's on his other Twitter Lens site, I think. Yeah. And I was like, oh, that's a great idea. And I will definitely there it is. I'll definitely will want to do that. I'm broke, but I'll definitely try to do that. And I mean, I live in Delaware, and it's like 45 minutes away from Philadelphia driving. And guess what? I was actually born in Philly, so like I know family there. Like I've been to Philly a bunch of times. So I would love to actually go with him and just like have fun and like hand out these dollar bills to people. And that'd be so dope, dude. Like I literally, this is what I've wanted to do for the longest time, just like to give out like gift cards or just to hand out money to people because I'm just like, I just love seeing like people freak out and be like, oh my god, like I got some free like cash, you know. But yeah, doing that on in the name of Yang, dude, I can't wait. I would love to do that. Hopefully I can do that with him on this month in Philly. Maybe a cool channel collab some sort. But that got me thinking, oh snap, I'm going to KCON New York. And I just reminded me because I got this recommended in my in my thing here. Guys, I am so into the group Newest and all you need to know, no, we're not gonna get copyright here, but all you need to know is that like they're amazing and I love them and they're like the best group ever. But they're gonna be at KCON New York, and it's gonna be lit because it's their first time at KCON New York. They were in LA like years ago when they first debuted, but this time they have this like just out of this world resurgence in their popularity after just a really hard time with their management. So they're coming back. This is in Japan, by the way, because Japan gets everything first apparently. But I will be at KCON New York, and I was wondering, okay, I definitely want to represent for Yang. I definitely want to wear like my map hat, which I have not ordered yet. I will, but I definitely want to like wear that hat and like go around. Like it's gonna be in Madison Square Garden too. It's the first time it's gonna be in New York City as well. KCON New York used to be in Newark, or however you pronounce it. I live in Newark, Delaware, but they pronounce Newark a different way. Newark, I think. But it was there, like the Prudential Center for the longest time, which I've been to, but now it's going to be in New York, Madison Square Garden. So now I'm like, okay, that's going to be lit. I've never been to Madison Square Garden before. So I'm like, I can't look at you. I can't look at you. Stop, please. But yeah, so I was like, oh snap! And when I watched this, I was like, oh man, it just clicked for me. Like everything just clicked. I was like, oh, that's a bad pause there. Yeah, done. It just clicked for me. I was like, oh snap! I could do this. Handing out of the Yang cash at KCON too. And I was like, ooh, okay, that would be interesting. And I'm thinking like maybe we could do like there'd be like a Yang Gang New York like meeting, or just like you can just like meet around KCON and then also like support K-pop and Andrew Yang. And like have like a dance party or something. We don't have to dance, but like naturally you're at a K-pop convention, you're gonna dance at some point. But I was like, oh snap, dude! Like, yo, I'm like, yo, we could do that, and I'll be in. Like, I'll be in the hotel, that like hotel in Koreatown, like the main one. Which is why I'm poor right now, because like I spend too much money on getting like 2 rooms there. But still, I was like, wait a minute, like I'm gonna be in the area. That's perfect. So now I'm like, okay, I need to get in contact with like, first of all, like Andrew Yang or the Yang Gang in like New York. See if anybody else wants to do this with me, because I definitely do want to do the idea that this guy had with the cars and everything, hand out to people. But KCON is a perfect spot to do that with, because obviously a lot of people there need cash anyways, because they're all poor, because they're like buying tickets and buying albums and merch, and they don't have any money for it, but they buy it anyways because they love these groups. And then might as well talk about Andrew Yang too. And he's Asian too, so like that would definitely help. It definitely helps, you know. But like, it's just one of those things where like everything I think is gonna fall into place. I was very concerned this last week, but I think we can do this. I think Yang Gang can do this. Wow. So yes, that's the gist of that. And I'll just leave it off with this. My boy Elwal, I think that's how you pronounce his name. I'm not sure, dude. Let me know how you pronounce your name. But his video, Politics for Every Identity, that's Andrew Yang. It's a beautiful, beautiful video. It's coming from a girl that loves the Atheism Unstoppable video. Nah, again, like he only has 274 subscribers, but he deserves a lot more because of this video alone. Now I'm just gonna go to some spots in here because he talks about how like it's been pretty rough on Twitter that like identity politics is like so like is so ingrained in like the Democratic left's like thinking and like how they want to support a candidate, that it's like crazy how like why are we like focusing on solving actual issues that really impact people, not just about identity politics, which I definitely agree with. I don't think that, you know, we have to be talking about, oh my god, like gays are so oppressed, and oh my god, women are so oppressed, and oh my god, like Christians are so oppressed. Like, we don't need any of that stuff right now. We need to deal with the fundamental problems and then talk about that stuff later. Because the problem is that, and Andrew Yang has said this, is like, I think the reason why all that petty stuff is in the forefront is because, let's call it how it is, a lot of these big corporations don't want us to look at the bags that they are carrying away, like, into the distance. Hence why we need to secure our bag, because it's like they're just leaving us with nothing but stupid identity politics to talk about. So I'm glad that my boy has been on Twitter debating all this stuff, talking to these people, because I just don't have the energy for it. I like to be more positive. I don't like to argue with people in that way, even though I love seeing it, but I don't feel like engaging a lot of the times. But I'm glad our boy Elwal does. So yeah, let me just like show you guys a little bit of that
balanced meal. So what I want to do is read some of these tweets that Andrew Yang got last night and this morning, because it's really concerning how people don't see this, and it's kind of scary. And to a certain extent, it makes me see my party, the Democratic Party, a little differently, because I didn't realize we were this far gone. And it kind of shows to me also a clear example of what Andrew Yang calls this scarcity mindset, where we've been so accustomed to being taken advantage of that we think we have so little. And so instead of coming together and realizing that we have strength in numbers, if we come together, we segregate ourselves, make ourselves weaker by only staying within our own little demographics, and we help ourselves less by doing so.
Yeah, perfectly said. Perfectly said. There's not like that speaks for itself. Like, it's so sad how people still don't realize. It's just I think human nature, but people still don't realize that like the only way that we can actually get something done is that if we work together. Like there's no like shortcut around it. That's the only way. So let me fast forward to this. He talks about all the examples that he of people talking about this. let me just go to the end, because as you guys probably, I mean, I would assume that like a lot of you guys are in like the same like mind frame as I am, so I don't need to like go through all the entire points. I really recommend you watch it yourself. But he did a great. I think this dude did a really great job at, you know, talking to these people in a respectable way, or a respectful way, but talking to them and being like, listen, like, I disagree with you because of X, Y, and Z, and bam. But later on, he talks about like Martin Luther King, and how Martin Luther King was pretty much the embodiment of like coming together as a one people, and then like solving a problem. And again, I'm not like, oh my god, like Martin Luther King, like I'm not like a whole like biggest fan of his. I don't like not like him, but like I'm like, okay, he was a person that definitely mattered and helped a lot. But even though I'm like not like, I don't consider him as like an idol of mine, I definitely do like how this guy explained why Martin Luther King was so important to us, and just closing up his arguments, or just closing up his point to even making this video, and why Andrew Yang is like the one to unite us at this point in time. So yeah.
Oh my. And what's so sad is that because of this scarcity mindset, where all we want to do is hold on to what we have as individuals, instead of looking around and seeing that a lot of people around us who are different than us also have as little as we do, that has taken us away from this idea that we should be fighting for everybody's human rights, not just our own. Everything that Martin Luther King stands for. I mean, sure, he was a black man fighting for black rights, but he was also a person fighting for civil rights for all. And all you have to do is read his speech, his most famous speech, to see that.
Yeah, so that's a great summarizer. And I guess leaves that's it. Like, and there is an hour, and I guess we're still doing Yang Gang Power Hour. Didn't mean to, but in the future, like, it'll probably just be like maybe like 30 to 40 minutes. Again, I just wanted to catch you guys up to like what has been happening, because a lot has been happening, and I have to explain all of that. And I know some of you guys probably don't even care about all the little nuances of like my, like, how I think about like all this stuff, but some of you guys, I'm sure, do. And again, like, atheism is unstoppable. Just putting it on the record. That's my thing. I just want to put it on the record just to let you guys know, like, yes, that's how I feel at this particular moment in time. It's a special moment in time, and I don't want to like have any regrets and be like, oh, I wish I would have said that earlier. Like, no, like, you guys know, like, I am here for Yang. I think I did have my doubts, but I think he will be able to win this whole thing, because of how powerful I think his, oh my god, dude, I just think that he, like, everything he like stands for, like how he cares about people and how practical he is just so needed right now. You need both. You need the empathy, and you need the reason too. You need a reason and the empathy. You need the intelligence and the compassion. You need the yin and the yang. The yin and the yang, okay? So that's it for now. Again, I'll do more videos of me just like responding to like comments and stuff, and because that's something that I really enjoy doing, and it's something that's different that I don't think a lot of people do, like on YouTube and anywhere else. So yeah, that's just my thing, and I'll talk about like KCON and like what like I want to do, how I want to like spread the word of Andrew Yang at KCON and just K-pop in general. So yeah, that's it for now, guys. Whew, that was long as fuck, but I'll talk to you guys later, and I'll see you guys in the comments, not just in mine, but just anywhere, probably just like everywhere. Okay, guys, bye. Oh, I'm so happy I did this video. Bye.